Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Tonight on Our News, a former cabinet minister robbed of thousands of dollars. The PMH morgue issues an urgent appeal. Plus, the Bahamas receives nearly 3,500 more doses of AstraZeneca. Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, former cabinet minister Leslie Miller, the victim of theft for the third time. He says he believes thieves watched him walk out of the bank and followed him to a nearby store. Kyle Joaquin has the story.
Miller says he strongly believes that he was followed because it wasn't long after he pulled up and walked into the store that this happened.
And this gentleman shouted that somebody's Jeep just got broken into. I said, what color? He said, silver Jeep. He was saying a silver Jeep. And we came outside, that's what happened.
And you met this?
Yeah.
5 minutes was all it took for thieves to get away with around $2,700 from the Lexus driven by former cabinet minister Leslie Miller. A quick run from the bank to collect money for payroll and a stop to the store, and the company's money was gone. Miller says he has no doubt he was followed, as the same car parked near him at the bank is believed to be the same car described at the scene.
They did follow me. This was the same car.
Right.
I saw the green car. When I came with the bike, right. I saw them. And I wondered what the hell, it was just curious.
Right.
Look, this is the third time I've been robbed now.
Right.
I've been robbed twice at gunpoint.
Right.
You know? So I was just happy that I didn't go to the car.
And what did the police say?
The police came and took this. I've now gone down to CDU for them to check, see if any prints, which I don't.
In surveillance video, you can see a guy come out of the front seat of a turquoise car and reach into the backseat of Miller's SUV. After a few seconds, he gets back into the vehicle and pulls off. All that's left, shattered glass on the floor and seats. Miller explained the thieves probably knew what they were looking for as well.
I had one of these in my hand, okay, which is what I normally, I just put it in here. And I always put it under the seat.
So the money would have been in there?
And I had two of them. They took this one that was under the seat in the front, you know, but it you know, I'm going to see something that was in it. You see? Okay. That's why I put it right here, like that. And they bent right over. See, there's some soup that I bought, still in the car. Right. All right? So they knew exactly. They saw me.
This is the third time Miller has been robbed. Though he was not held up at gunpoint this time, he's glad to be okay.
In this case, I was lucky. He just went and, you know, but I'm shocked that in the Bahamas today, you have people who actually follows people.
Miller now left asking, what if?
That is so dangerous. Not people like that, but what about as a woman? And what would have happened had I gone to the car and inquire? I could have been dead.
For Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Well, Princess Margaret Hospital once again making an urgent appeal for the collection of the deceased from the public morgue, as it is now over capacity. One funeral home director says many families cannot afford to bury their loved ones. Kyle Joaquin reports.
It's an economic issue as to why you have overcrowding.
The tough economic pinch brought on by the pandemic now following some to the grave. After being 4 times over capacity last September, the morgue at PMH is once again operating beyond capacity. In a statement, the Public Hospitals Authority said the increasing number of bodies threatens morgue operations, as overflow conditions can compromise the integrity of the bodies over time. Demerit's Funeral Home Managing Director Llewellyn Aswood said it's not that families aren't collecting their loved ones' remains because they don't want to, but because they can't afford to bury them.
Persons know that their family members have passed away. They know that they are in the RAND lab, but they're just not in an economic position to do anything about it. So most of them just keep quietly and hope that the government would provide what they call a pauper's burial.
PHA said in the event bodies are not removed in a timely manner, it will have no alternative but to seek the required legal authority to remove the remains. According to Aswood, the average cost for funeral preparations can run a family into around $7,000, with even cremation running into about $5,000. He says he's seen many families struggle to find the funds to make that happen.
That's on a daily basis nowadays. Yes, every day you would find yourself having to work along with somebody, or you would have what we would call persons who are shopping around, and they're simply looking for the best rate that they can have their loved one buried with dignity. We try to limit you to around about 6 weeks. And if you see, if things are going past that time, we try to see if we could create other options for you, whether it be cremation or some other form that is more economical.
The morgue overcrowding comes as hospitalizations and COVID-related deaths are on the rise. PMH's morgue has the capacity to hold 55 bodies. PMH Administrator Mary Walker told Narrow News she will speak more to it during a press conference being held by the Ministry of Health Friday afternoon.
Families are having to make tough decisions on what they're going to do, and coupled with the fact that just up until recently, not all of your family members could actually attend the service. So that compounds it.
Those with loved ones in the hospital's morgue are asked to call 322-2861. For Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
And amid a dwindling supply of doses, the Bahamas has received 3,496 doses of the COVID-19 AstraZeneca vaccine from the British Overseas Territories of Montserrat and Anguilla, with the assistance of United Kingdom High Commissioner Sarah Dixon. Chair of the Vaccine Consultative Committee, Dr. Marceline Dahl-Regis, received the vaccines Wednesday. She says they will be used to continue the administration of second doses. In other news, the PLP is trending as the election favorite, according to an independent polling company. Jillian Gray has the numbers.
An independent poll conducted by information company Intel Key pegs the PLP as the electoral favorite, trending 5% ahead of the FNM. Of the 5,965 people surveyed, 35% said they'll vote for the PLP, 30% said they'll vote for the FNM, and coming in scores lower are the DNA, Coalition of Independents, and independent candidates, who garnered only 8%, 3%, and 1% of the votes, respectively. The numbers were not surprising for PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell.
Well, they're not surprising, but one of the things you learn is in politics, it's up and down, but it's been trending in this direction for quite some time.
The survey found that younger voters are 3 times more likely not to vote in the next general election, with 13% of them saying they're undecided and 14% saying they will not vote at all. Those numbers do align with the findings of the parliamentary commissioner, who said people ages 18 to 24 are the lowest of all age categories to register. Only 16,629 of them have registered thus far. Mitchell says while younger persons aren't the largest demographic, they are a driving force.
What they are is a driver of the other demographics because it's fashionable to trend toward what young people want. Our feeling is that once you have the conversation with young people, they're committed, they're engaged, because they want policies which produce good governance for the country and largely gets them to have an economic buy-in to the future of the country. And that's what they're interested in. What are you going to do for our economy that makes it possible for me to stay here, for me to plan my future here, for my children to be raised here? And we're doing quite well.
Family Island residents seem to favor the PLP as well. 44% of those surveyed said they will vote for the PLP compared to 34% supporting the FNM. However, the FNM in this poll is leading on Grand Bahama by 1%. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
And another hot day across the country. Greg Thompson has the latest.
Thanks, Christine, and welcome everybody for your first look at weather tonight, brought to you by Nexum. New look, same great taste, distributed by Lightburn Trading. Flirting with some very warm temperatures around the islands today. Temperatures into the 90s again, triple digits. The heat indices, 82 outside our studios, few clouds, it's hazy, and your feels like temperature still in the mid to upper 80s. Satellite view around the islands, we are seeing a lot of sunshine. Sahara dust still hanging with us. A couple isolated showers across the extreme northern islands, but things will quiet down as the evening goes on. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, what's stopping the reopening of the downtown straw market? And later, all roads lead to Tokyo 2020. Stay tuned.
The Great Choo Choo Bahamian Treasure Hunt is here, where you can win great vacation prize packages to hotels throughout the Bahamas. Watch Our TV on weeknights between 6 and 11 p.m. for your 10 Choo Choo Bahamian clues. Take note of your answers and clues. You never know, you might see the same clue twice. Follow Our TV Originals on Facebook to submit your correct answers before 11 a.m. every Saturday. Watch Our News Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. to see if you are the weekly winner. If you didn't win, watch for clues next week because the contest runs all summer long. Go to Our TV Originals Facebook page for more information and contest details.
Despite the tourism industry's slow rebound, the downtown straw market remains closed. Well, it's due to the low number of vaccinations across the country, according to the Works Minister. Jasmine Brown has that.
It's been 16 months since the straw market was a bustling tourist attraction filled with dozens of vendors and eager visitors. Today, the building remains a ghost town. Minister of Works Desmond Bannister says the reason behind the prolonged closure is a low vaccination rate not only among vendors but across the country.
There are not sufficient numbers of Bahamians who are vaccinated. That is the concern of the government. We want to be able to open the straw market, but we have a responsibility to Bahamians. We have a responsibility to be able to open it safely. Right now, I am informed that even at the staff of the Straw Market Authority, we have a low number of persons who are vaccinated. So the government has to look at all of these issues. We know that there are a number of vendors who are not vaccinated.
The Deputy Prime Minister also pointed to a spike in cases in the United States where the majority of tourists come from.
I think all of you have seen the challenges that we have with respect to the Delta virus that's coming in. We don't know whether that is here in the Bahamas, but we know it's rising in the United States.
While the majority of businesses have reopened, including gyms, the straw market has remained closed since March 28, 2020. Taxi drivers who work in the downtown area say with the market closed and two major cruise lines home porting, it's been a major disappointment for tourists.
These people coming up this cruise ship, where do they want to go? To the straw market.
Bannister could not say when the straw market would be reopened, but he insisted officials are working on a plan with the Ministry of Health.
It's important that we create the safest possible environment at the straw market, and that's what the government is looking to do.
In the meantime, vendors continue to struggle to make ends meet. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
In other news, nearly a year after officials announced plans for the construction of hurricane shelters on storm-ravaged Abaco and Grand Bahama, Social Services announced the approved list of hurricane shelters for Grand Bahama. Bethany McDermott reports.
2 months into what's expected to be a very active hurricane season, officials on Grand Bahama identified and approved 8 hurricane shelters on that island, according to Acting Deputy Social Services Director for the Northern Bahamas, Charlamagne Fernander.
These shelters would have passed inspection. They're required to adhere strictly to the building code of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Their structure and the environment is suitable for expected use as a shelter. The facilities would have been properly maintained, and security problems or potential security issues would be at a minimum. Hazards would be at a minimum or manageable.
Hurricane Dorian ravaged parts of Abaco and Grand Bahama in 2019, leaving behind a trail of devastation. An assessment by the International Organization of Migration in early 2020 warned there is insufficient shelter capacity for another storm on both Grand Bahama and Abaco. In September 2020, officials from the Disaster Reconstruction Authority told the Tribune that construction would begin on 2 hurricane shelters after Hurricane Dorian proved churches and schools aren't adequate to withstand storm force winds. To date, none of the shelters are completed. However, Fernander insisted the shelters have to meet the standard.
Shelters are rated, by the way, A, B, or C. An A shelter would be the ideal as far as what is available in the Bahamas. A shelter that you would place persons in during the height of a hurricane or a disaster. A B shelter is almost as good, but maybe has some little minor concerns, but if there's an overflow of A shelters, then persons could be housed at B shelters. A C shelter is not used during the hurricane and is strictly reserved for use after the storm has passed as more long-term shelter. That's because we wouldn't trust it to withstand hurricane force winds.
As the country continues to battle a third wave of COVID-19 infections, Fernander said safety protocols were put in place for all shelters. Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
When Our News continues, how you can score a Vax card and support a worthy cause, plus the journey to Tokyo 2020. Stay with us.
The great True True Bahamian Treasure Hunt is here, where you can win great vacation prize packages to hotels throughout the Bahamas. Watch our TV on weeknights between 6 and 11 p.m. for your 10 True True Bahamian clues. Take note of your answers and clues. You never know, you might see the same clue twice. Follow our TV originals on Facebook to submit your correct answers before 11 a.m. every Saturday. Watch our news Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. to see if you are the weekly winner. If you didn't win, watch for clues next week because the contest runs all summer long. Go to our TV originals Facebook page for more information and contest details.
This is our news. Welcome back. Proof of vaccination may be required when traveling, and now the Bahamas Girl Guides Association is offering a stylish way to ensure you always have your card on you.
COVID has really put a wrench in our plans, and so we are trying to see what else we can do to raise funds to move the construction along.
The Girl Guides are introducing wallet-sized COVID vaccination cards with 3 uniquely Bahamian designs: the majestic flamingo, a stunning sailboat, or the world-famous swimming pigs. President of the Bahamas Girl Guides Association, Ruth Sumner, says the idea was developed after COVID Consultative Committee member Dr. Merceline Dahl-Regis, who also happens to be a Queen's Guide, was looking for a way to give back. Construction on the Bahamas Girl Guides headquarters on West Bay Street began in 2013, and while it may look complete on the outside, Vice President Michelle Fields says there's still a lot more work and money needed to complete the 3-story structure.
The building outside, it looks like it's finished. However, it is a shell. Inside is just rough.
How much? About $600,000 to $700,000.
Since COVID has started, all building supplies, they seem to go up by the month. And so each time we get an update on the cost, it is more and more. So what we're trying to do is to get enough to now remobilize and start inside the building.
The estimate also includes big ticket items like air conditioning, an elevator, and a generator. Once complete, the headquarters will be a multi-purpose center, including living facilities to accommodate girls visiting from the Family Islands.
It's been a long time trying to bring it to this point. You know, they've worked hard and long trying to raise funds. They've raised quite a bit, but it's costing more as the years go by.
To order a card, visit bit.ly/vaxcards. In other news, with opening ceremonies just hours away, international media gearing up for the start of competition at the Tokyo Olympics. Marcellus Hall is in Tokyo.
Welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall here in the busy streets of Tokyo. We are getting closer and closer to opening ceremonies. As you can tell, the people here in Tokyo are pretty excited, or at least going about their daily work as if nothing really is happening. We know that's going to change once the Olympics get started. Meanwhile, as for the media, we're getting ready and we're impatient to get things going. With the opening ceremonies fast approaching for the Tokyo Olympics, members of the international press converging on the world's most popular city for the long-anticipated event. After an eventful arrival, we did make our way to the main press center, or MPC, utilizing the transportation bus system set up by the local organizer committee. All right, so guys, on our way now to the main press center, hoping to get our accreditation straightened out before the actual start of the games, which will be coming your way tomorrow with the opening ceremonies. Of course, competition set to begin on that same day as well. Bahamas team will see some action with swimmers, so looking forward to seeing how things turn out. On the bus, we caught up with fellow Bahamian media member Sheldon Longley of the Nassau Guardian and got his words on his expectations for Team Bahamas.
I think this could be our best Olympics ever. I'm looking for 3 gold medals, 2 from Shawnee and 1 from Stephen. Tokyo 2020, where's up? And the 2021, but it's dropped in 2020. 3 gold medals.
Meanwhile, at the media center, things are buzz with activity. Print, radio, and television journalists all going through their final checks, making sure everything was in order before the action getting underway in earnest. As it is, we saw media from all around the world, representing all walks of life, male, female, and every single corner of the world, all getting ready for seeing their country's athletes take to the field. And that's your check on Sport for you here on this Thursday. Reporting from Tokyo for the Tokyo Olympics, I'm Marcellus Hall. Meanwhile, let's bring it back to you.
Thanks, Marcellus. Rev TV will be providing extensive cable coverage of the Olympic Games live from Tokyo, Japan. It all begins with an opening ceremony on Friday at 7 a.m. on RTV channel 212, as well as Rev channels 243 and 244.
You will have access to it from a Rev Go Play standpoint and from a Rev Start standpoint. And through the digital islands, which is Eleuthera, Abaco, Grand Bahama, and New Providence, you will have access to the 16 channels. And the thing is, with all 4 of these sports that we have given our customers for the last 3 years, in these tough times, in these recessionary times, just remember, sports brings people together.
Everyone, there has been huge excitement around it. We have been fielding calls throughout the week. As soon as we made the announcements, persons were calling in very excited, especially about the Sweet 16 deal that we have offered for our Trio customers at no additional cost.
Senior Commercial Director Odette Russell says Rev has also officially launched the Amazon Eero Mesh solution.
The reality is, no matter how great your internet is in the home, once you have this Wi-Fi mesh solution inside your house, it's going to improve the quality and your experience so much greater. Now, you might be thinking that, perhaps this is only necessary for big homes, but the reality is you need it for any size home that you have. So whether it's a small apartment or a large home, the reality is you can always improve your experience by introducing the Eero Mesh inside your household.
Up next, find out the key ingredients of a crafty cocktail. Stay with us.
The Great True True Bahamian Treasure Hunt is here, where you can win great vacation prize packages to hotels throughout the Bahamas. Watch Our TV on weeknights between 6 and 11 p.m. for your 10 True True Bahamian clues. Take note of your answers and clues. You never know, you might see the same clue twice. Follow Our TV Originals on Facebook to submit your correct answers before 11 a.m. every Saturday. Watch Our News Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. to see if you are the weekly winner. If you didn't win, watch for clues next week because the contest runs all summer long. Go to Our TV Originals Facebook page for more information and contest details.
Welcome back to our news. A mix of sunny skies and showers heading into the weekend. Greg is back with the details.
Thanks again, Christina. Welcome back, everybody, for your second look at weather. Very hot conditions around the islands. Temperatures into the 90s once again. Feels like temperature once again into the triple digits. That ridge of high pressure dominating our weather with some Saharan dust expected to weaken as the weekend approaches. Frontal boundary to the north. Low pressure system expected to develop, move to the north of the Bahamas. National Hurricane Center is going to watch that area for some potential for development, giving it about a 30% chance over the next 5 days. Beaching and boating forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Southeast to southerly flow, 10 to 15 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Caution flag in place for the southeast Bahamas, east to southeast winds, 15 knots, 3 to 5 foot seas. High tide will be at 7:22 tonight. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Tuesday. We could see some showers across the extreme northwest Bahamas with that low pressure system developing by the weekend. That's your look at weather. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Greg. Looking for a cocktail with a kick? Our Jillian Gray introduces us to a signature drink with a big bang in Thirsty Thursdays.
For today's Thirst Thursday, we're down here at Comfort Suites where life of the party Jamal is making us the Bang-a-lang.
In honor of its 30th anniversary, Comfort Suites created a drink competition among its bartenders. Jamal, also known as the life of the party, tied for first place. Of his 2 signature drinks, the Bang-a-lang is the party favorite.
Because it's a party drink, it's a nice flavor, nice taste to it. You don't feel it sneaking up on you, but she'll be there, trust me.
By the end of the night, you'll be saying,
Bang-a-lang.
In case you're wondering what puts the bang in the Bang-a-lang.
Of the lemonade and fruit punch, it's the secret ingredients, but it ain't a secret no more. And 151 gin, tequila, peach schnapps, and amaretto.
Gin and tequila.
Listen, don't listen. We have English in us. It's in our heritage, so let's not judge the gin.
Yes, you counted right. That's 5 different types of liquor. The infusion of the resort's signature fruit punch and lemonade may mask the 6 ounces of rum, but Jamal says don't let the fruity flavors fool you.
Man, I said now when they saying, what did I feel like drinking? And I just started making things and start drinking. Please don't judge me. You got to taste it before you place it.
Now it's time to mix it up.
If you know the song, don't be shy.
You definitely seem like you love what you do.
And after a heavy hand of rum, some stirring, pouring, and of course dancing.
That's the banging line from out here. A drunk but healthy vacation, so eat your fruits. Please, thank you.
I was not so brave to try a drink with 5 different types of alcohol, so I gave that job to my cameraman.
What are these good true?
Bang-a-lang?
Bang-a-lang, bang-a-lang.
Bang-a-lang.
I'm not going to get drunk, I ain't. It's 3 o'clock. Yeah, that's really good. I can't take it.
Reporting for our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
Sounds like you made a smart decision, Jillian. Well, thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.